Hello everybody, it's me, Alex, and today we're going to vlog with a cat because somebody's being a very sweet boy. This is Loki, in case you have not met him before. And yes, I did just get out of the shower because I was good and I worked out and blah blah blah, fitness, whatever, January. So, hump day. Hope your hump day was pretty good. But I bet it wasn't as good as Mr. Loki's hump day because he's a cat. Though I know your life is so hard because the life of a kitty is the hardest thing ever. Their lives are just, their lives are suffering. They're kind of like droids in Star Wars. They were made to suffer. Isn't that so, Mr. Loki? I don't have a lot to talk about today because it was mostly... Went to work. I spent all day sitting. Well, not sitting, because if I had sat, my butt would have frozen off because it was kind of cold today. And there was nothing. I kind of had a place where I could sit for like short periods of time because I took a piece of plywood and put it on top of a concrete step so that my butt would not completely freeze while I was on the step. But mostly I spent the day just kind of like walking back and forth and between observing people putting rocks into a detention vault with skidsters, which is, I mean, that's not even, however it sounds, it's less exciting than that. And between that, I was just basically walking around to try to keep myself warm and reading a book. So I finished one of my library books, which is nice. And I'm happy to report that Hamilton's Battalion, which I was like, oh, I think 2 of the romances in there are queer. Yep, I was right. There's a gay romance and a lesbian romance, and it's super cute. So, recommend, though I will mention in more detail on Monday, because we're going to try to make Book Monday a thing. But I mean, it was kind of interesting to see a different aspect of my job that was not just like pounding a giant metal pin into the ground. So, you know, that was cool. And, you know, it actually rained a little bit today, which was nice because we are in serious need of rain. That is really all I have to say because I am tired as hell. I just have not been sleeping very good because I don't know if you have the problem where, like, when you have super vivid dreams that you don't sleep as well, and I've just been having all these weird, super vivid, like, stress dreams lately, and I don't know why. But Mr. Loki's happy, so there you go. And yes, that is the stupid cat voice I use every time I'm talking to my cat. And he's not even the good cat. This is actually the bad kitty. He's the kitty that does things like chews on plastic bags and eats items that are not food so then he can barf them on your bed. Isn't that so? Yeah, you're a little barf face, aren't you? And picks fights with the other cats and scratches on people's doors because he's offended that you have shut him out of your room like a terrible person. So he's the bad kitty. But he's being very, very sweet right now. And actually, you know what? Since this is a vlog and I'd feel like a total loser if I didn't, you know, at least get 10 minutes worth. Let me tell you the story of how I got this asshole. So, I had the other cat, who's the black kitty, Tengu. I think he's made an appearance on a vlog before. And at the time, Mike was still unemployed, my partner at the time. And so, Mike was basically staying at home 24/7 with Tengu, and Mike and Tengu were like special buddies. And then Mike got a job, and so Tengu, as I don't think is completely unreasonable, started having some kind of abandonment issues because his buddy had just suddenly started disappearing for most of the day. So we decided that, you know, the solution to this would be to get a friend for Tengu, because that way, you know, you get 2 cats and they can kind of like entertain each other, right? Supposedly, one would think. And I mean, initially I was going to try to find a spayed female to have company with Tengu, because normally the best combination is like a neutered male and a spayed female. And and Tengu was like 6 months old at this point. And then a friend of ours said, "Oh, well, I know these people who have a cat who's maybe a month or two older than Tengu. And they want to give him away just because they have a couple of older cats and he's a little too rambunctious for them. But he's a super sweet cat and he has the best kitty tummy, which, I mean, look at this tummy. How can you say no to this tummy? It is the best tum-tum." Anyway, so we were like, okay, well, let's go meet this cat. And we went, and he was indeed very sweet. And I kept kind of going like, God, I wonder why these people are actually getting rid of this cat. Because he was a very sweet boy, and he let me pet his beautiful white kitty belly. Like, he never cares if people do that, to this day. And, he seemed a little energetic, but he's like an 8-month-old cat, and that's kind of how they are. So I was like, okay, so he can be friends with Tengu. And so we get him home, and to begin with, it's fucking World War III. Like, the amount of cat drama that occurred when I brought him home was just insane. And it was entirely on this one's part. Like, we bring him into the house, and Tengu, who did, he was fostered in a home with a lot of other animals, including dogs. Tengu was like, "Oh, hey, buddy!" And Loki was like, "Fuck you!" And jumped on Tengu and beat him up, and then beat him up some more, and then chased him around the house and beat him up again, and it was just terrible, and I felt like the worst fucking person in the world. And then, I was initially like, oh my God, I need to just give this cat back to them because this is horrific. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You are the worst. You were so mean to poor Tengu. You were so mean to him. But then, like, after 2 days, shit kind of calmed down, and they were doing that thing where they were, like, grooming each other, and, it was fine. And then other little things started happening, like this one, I know it was this one because the other one never did it. Someone started chewing through our LAN cables, so that was great, and chewing on the power cords, which is amazing, and trying to scratch on the furniture, which is why I realized they had put soft paws on him, and that was obviously why. And we did not keep up with that because at one point, not long after we got him, he managed to catch one of the soft paws. They're like little caps that go over their claws that you glue in place. So it's almost like fake nails for cats, kind of, but it keeps them from scratching things. But he managed to get one caught in a piece of furniture, and it was just, oh my God, it was really incredibly stressful for everybody, and it's the only time that he's actually scratched me pretty bad because he was freaking out because one of his claws was caught and must have hurt really bad. But yeah, he started trying to scratch the furniture, and he was chewing on the power cables, and I was, and he was also just being a giant asshole because he was being, he'd hit the teenage cat phase, which, like, let's talk about, there's no nightmare worse than a teenage cat. They're just such little dicks. But then I come to find out that, the real reason this couple decided to get rid of him was, and by the way, when we acquired him, his name was not Loki, his name was Tori, and I was like, there will be no cat in my house that is named Tori. So we decided to name him Loki because, the other cat's named Tengu, and it made sense, but that's what we get for naming a cat Loki. But anyway, so I find out that these people that I got this guy from, who had assured me that he was super well behaved and such a good kitty, got rid of him because he was chewing through all of their cables. Yeah, that was you. You're such a jerk. And kind of like, the thing that should have told me everything was not that he was just, too rambunctious. It was that he was literally going over to their geriatric cats, pushing them over, and then running away. Yeah, that's you. You are such a jerk. Oh, he doesn't want to deal with me insulting him anymore. No, what are you doing? Do you want to tell your side of the story, Loki? No, leave that alone. So, anyway, leave that alone. Oh, I got you. So anyway, that is the story of how I acquired Asshole Cat, the Magnificent. But I do love him anyway. even if at times it was a bit of a struggle when he was young and being a teenage cat, because that's just the worst. But it's worked out. And I think, you know, for a while when I moved them back to Colorado, he and Tengu were having some problems, but they seem to have worked things out, and he's back to being very chill and, you know, not a jerk. So everyone's happy, and there's a happy ending to this story. And someday I'll also tell you the story of why his ears are all kind of messed up, because you can see he's got a lot of little scars in his ears, and it's kind of a weird one. But it's been 10 minutes, and I'm tired, so have a lovely rest of your Wednesday. Sorry, this has just not been the highest quality video I've done, but you know what to expect at this point. Have a great have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow, and have a good Thursday. Bye. Say goodbye, Loki. Bye.